Hi everyone, my name is Sai and I will be taking you guys on your virtual visit to a Hindu temple. I come from Sri Rajeswary Amman Temple in Stoneleigh, which is in Epsom. Some of you may have visited us before with your families or seen our famous chariot festival. Normally we welcome loads and loads of school kids as part of their curriculum to come to visit the Hindu temple, but unfortunately this year we aren't able to do that due to the pandemic. So what I've done is I've prepared this presentation and I'm hoping it will give you guys an insight into what it's like to visit a Hindu temple and what it's like to be a Hindu as well. So let's get started. So what is Hinduism? I'm pretty sure you all know the answer to this. It's one of the oldest religions in the world. It's also the third largest religion, following Christianity and Islam. The religion dates back to over 5,000 years ago, so it's super, super old. We also don't believe that there's one person who the religion came from. We don't believe in a founder or a prophet. Essentially, we believe the religion spread through word of mouth and through people just copying how other people practiced. But we do have lots of sacred texts. We've got the Bhagavad Gita, we've got the Vedas, and we've got the Ramayana, which is the story of Diwali that you might have heard of. We use those sacred texts, we copy their values, and that's how we practice our lives as Hindus. If we have a look at the map at the bottom here, you can see that the vast majority of Hindu people live in India. We've got Nepal over there, and we've also got Sri Lanka over here, which is where I'm from. Lots of Hindus also live in Australia, in Malaysia, Singapore, and you've also got quite a lot of Hindus living in the UK. Let's go to the next slide. So what are our key Hindu values? What do Hindu people practice? So essentially, the main teachings of Hinduism all comes from the 5 human values. Those are truth, love, peace, non-violence, and right conduct. Every day, every Hindu strives to become a good Hindu person by practicing those 5 human values, by telling the truth, by not being violent, by always practicing your duty and doing the right thing. That is how we live our lives, and that's how we try to live our lives. We also believe God is within all humans, all animals, and all plants. We believe God is in everyone, which is why we always treat everyone with respect, because we believe we are literally treating you as God. You are our God, so we have to treat you with the most respect. We also believe, Hindus believe in reincarnation, you might have heard of. So essentially, we believe that you are born and then you die, and then you're born again and then you die. And essentially, the aim of life is to do as many good deeds as possible, help as many people as you can. So ultimately, the end goal is to merge with God. We also believe that our gods, we have many gods in Hinduism. We believe they all have separate roles, different situations that we pray to them for. And the way that we pray to these gods are different across the world. We'll have a look at that in a minute. So let's get started. So welcome to the temple. So this is a picture of our temple in Stoneleigh. So just a few key things before we start. Whenever we go to a Hindu temple, we always wear traditional clothing. So for example, this is what I'm wearing here. This is called a sudita. It's essentially a long top with trousers and a shawl as well. So women would wear a sudita, or we'd wear a sari, which is a very long piece of cloth that we drape over ourselves. Men wear something called a verti or a dhoti, which is essentially a long sheet that they wrap around their legs. On the day that we visit the temple, we're vegetarians, so we wouldn't eat any meat on the day. And before entering the temple, we take our shoes off before we go. This is essentially because the temple always has to be clean, and we don't want outdoor dirt coming into the temple because it's the place of worship and it's the home of our God. Before coming into the temple, we always wash our hands. So this is something that's been very useful during the pandemic. We always wash our hands before coming in, just because it's a cleanliness thing, and it's always good to be clean before entering a place of worship. So this picture here is of a couple of my family members, actually. This is how we traditionally dress when we go to a temple. This temple is a very famous temple in Sri Lanka. You can see how big it is. It's absolutely massive. So you can see my cousin here is wearing a verdi, which is essentially the sheet that he wraps around his legs. And traditionally in temples in India and Sri Lanka, boys always have to go bare-chested, so they have to take their t-shirts off. You can see here, my mum over here is wearing a sari. It's a beautiful sari. And my 2 cousins here are wearing suditas, which is essentially what I'm wearing. So it's a long top with the trousers. So firstly, let's start off with Lord Ganesh. So I'm sure you guys have seen Lord Ganesh before. Let me just move myself at the bottom. So I'm sure you've heard of Lord Ganesh. He is one of the most famous gods and one of the most lovable gods of Hinduism as well. So why do we pray to him? We pray to him so that he can remove our obstacles. So before we start anything new, we always pray to Lord Ganesh. So for example, when I was little, before I started a new year at school, before I went from year 5 into year 6 or year 7 into year 8, I always prayed to Ganesh on my first day of school. And I prayed to him to remove all the obstacles and to make my year at school as problem-free as possible. One of the things about Ganesh is that he has an elephant head and he has a human body. He also loves his food. You guys have seen how big elephants are. They love food, and similarly, so does Ganesh. So as devotees, what we do, we bring mangoes to the temple, we bring lovely Indian sweets to the temple, and we offer them to him. And then we get to eat them afterwards, which is always great fun. Elephants are also the most cleverest animals, and that's why he's also the god of intellect. So we pray to him for knowledge. And one thing that I'm not sure if you've covered this already or if you know, but every Hindu god has their own animal companion. So any ideas who his animal companion could be? I'm sure you're thinking it's an elephant, but it's not. It's actually a mouse. And you can see the mouse over here at the bottom. So the mouse, in every picture you see of Ganesh, he's always got his little mouse next to him. That's essentially his best friend. And this is what the deity of Ganesh looks like at our temple. You can see he's got a lovely juicy mango over here, and he's dressed beautifully in his verti, which is what boys wear, so he's a boy. You can see he's got his elephant trunk and he's beautifully decorated with lots of jewelry and garlands. Let's go to the next slide. Now we come to another god called Lord Murugan. So Lord Murugan is actually Lord Ganesh's brother. Murugan is the god of war, and essentially his job is to destroy anything that's negative or evil. So he removes evil thoughts and bad energy. You know, sometimes you can be feeling really down or really angry. We pray to him to get rid of these unhealthy feelings and to make us happy again, essentially. With Murugan, he always carries his beautiful spear. His spear is called a veil, and that's essentially what he uses when he's killing the demons in all our really ancient stories. Now, his animal companion. Any ideas what it is? I think it's pretty obvious. It's a peacock. So in the stories, he flies across on his peacock, and essentially he kills the demons using his spear. So this is our deity of Murugan at the temple. You can see he's got his lovely spear over here, and he's dressed very regally in green. Now, this is our main deity of the temple. This is Sri Rajeswary Amman temple. So we're called Sri Rajeswary Amman temple because she is our main goddess of the temple. For us, she is almost like our eternal mother. I mean, I treat her as my mother. She's the presiding deity of the temple, and essentially she's the mother of love and grace. You can pray to her for absolutely anything. We believe that any job that all the Hindu gods do, she can do as well. You'll notice at the top of her crown, she has a crescent moon. Essentially, that's to symbolize that she's in control of the universe. She also carries a sugar cane, and that represents fertility, that represents growth, and it also represents sweetness. Now, her animal companion is a lion. You can see some lions over here sitting on her very pretty throne. So that's basically her animal companion. So for me, for example, Sri Rajeswary Amman is the most important deity for me. She's my favorite, and she is our main deity of the temple. And this is what she looks like at our temple. You can see she's got her sugar cane. She's got a real one here, actually, and she's also got her decorative one. You can see she's got a beautiful crown and lots of flower garlands. But the flower garlands, we actually make them at the temple and we offer them. They're very difficult to make. That's definitely for sure. Now we have Lord Shiva. I'm sure you guys have heard of him. He's the destroyer. So it's his job. He's very similar to Lord Murugan, but it's his job to destroy anything that's bad, remove negativity within us and around us. So Lord Shiva is blue characteristically, and if you have a look at him, you can see he's got a little woman over here with water coming out, and that is actually the river Ganges. So we believe Mother Ganga, who is a goddess for us, she resides at the top of his head, and the Ganges actually flow from Lord Shiva's head, which is why the Ganges is a very, very special river for Hindus. Lord Shiva is also the god of dance, and he's also ironically the god of meditation as well. So you can see he's in quite a meditative pose over here. His animal companion is a bull, slightly hidden here, but in all the pictures, he's always with his bull. So moving on, we have the puja tray. In every home and in every temple, you'll always see a puja tray somewhere. The puja tray consists of 5 items. You've got the bell, the oil lamp, flowers and fruit, incense stick, and kumkum powder. So starting from the top, we have the bell. Whenever we pray, we always ring the bell, and the main purpose is to get everyone's attention so everyone is ready and focused to pray. We also believe that by ringing the bell, it purifies the atmosphere by getting rid of negative vibrations that might be in the space. For example, it might be in your house or it might be in the place of worship. Ringing that bell, we believe that everything is purified. The oil lamp. Now, fire plays a really, really significant role in Hinduism. Fire is the purest form of energy, and so in every Hindu home and in the temple, you'll see loads and loads of little lamps. Similarly, the story of Diwali. We all know that lamps play a very, very important role. Essentially, by lighting a lamp, you're removing darkness, and that's all we want to do being a good Hindu. We want to remove darkness, we want to remove negativity, we want to remove bad energies, and we want to be light. We want to be emanating warmth and love towards everyone. Flowers and fruit is the third item. Whenever we go to the temple, we always bring a bunch of flowers as an offering. The priests use those flowers to offer to the gods and goddesses. Afterwards, we get to take those blessed flowers and we bring them home and we place them on our shrine room. Similarly with the fruit, like I said, Ganesh loves his mangoes, and we offer the mangoes and we offer loads of different types of fruit such as pomegranate, apples, oranges, bananas, everything. And we offer them to the priest. The priest does a special prayer in front of our favorite god, and he gives us that fruit back. And that is really, really special for us because we get home and we eat it together and we share it with our loved ones. The incense stick. Now, incense always smells so lovely. You get loads and loads of different types. And the reason that we use incense stick is essentially just to make the temple or your home smell nice. Hinduism is all about the five senses. So by controlling the senses, by having nice smells and hearing nice songs, it gets us in a really good position to pray and get ready to pray. Now, the fifth item is kumkum powder. And you can see it here. It's the red powder just at the bottom. Now, what we do with the kumkum powder is that we always place it on our forehead. This area here, we believe, is called the third eye, which is why I've got a bindi. Obviously, it's not a real eye. We know we've only got two, but we believe that this area here is very important because it's part of our brain and our head. Essentially, we believe that it gives us the power of discrimination. It tells us what's right and what's wrong. And we believe that that's a power that we've got from Lord Shiva. So with the kumkum powder, say I'm going to the temple, I'd go and I'd pray. After doing a special prayer, I'd take the kumkum powder and I'd just mark it here on my forehead, just on top of my bindi. So that's the puja tray. And this is a typical home setup. So in every house, every Hindu house, you'll have like a shelf or perhaps a special shrine room where you have all the deities, all the pictures of your favorite gods and goddesses, and you can see the lamps at the bottom, you can see some bananas and some coconut and some special fruit, and you can see lots of flowers. Now that brings us to our very quick virtual visit to the Hindu temple. I hope you guys have enjoyed it, and I really, really hope that hopefully next year or the year after, we'd soon be able to welcome you back to the temple. Now I've got a short 3-minute video that I'd like to show you with all our special festivals that happen at the temple throughout the year. We start off with the Full Moon Chariot Festival, which is basically where our goddess, Sri Rajeswary Amman, goes around the temple in her golden chariot. It moves on to the Abhishekam ritual, which is essentially a bathing ritual. Just as we need to have a shower every day to keep clean, so do our deities. So you'll have a look at that. You'll see milk, honey, fruits, various items being poured onto our deities. Thirdly, you'll see a flag hoisting ceremony. Every year at the temple, we have a special 15-day ceremony called our annual festival. It starts off on the first day with the flag hoisting ceremony, and you'll be able to see the flag get hoisted up to mark the first day of our special festival. And lastly, we finish with the Chariot Festival. The Chariot Festival is the most important day for us at the temple. It's on the 15th day of our celebration, and you'll see our beautiful golden chariot get paraded around the streets with our goddess, Sri Rajeswary Amman, inside. The purpose of this festival is so that she's able to bless everyone around us and around the temple. She blesses our local community, our neighbours, and everyone who's made a special trip to come and visit her on that special day. I hope you guys have enjoyed this very, very quick presentation, and I hope we can see you soon. Stay safe. Thank you.
Rajeswary Jaganmohini, Rajeswary Jaganmohini, Rajeswary Jaganmohini, राजराजेश्वरी जगन्मोहिनी जगदम्बे मङ्गलकारिणी जगदम्बे मङ्गलकारिणी जगदम्बे मङ्गलकारिणी जगदम्बे मङ्गलकारिणी साई राजराजेश्वरी जगन्मोहिनी साई राजराजेश्वरी जगन्मोहिनी जगदोद्धारिणी विघ्नविनाशिनी जगदोद्धारिणी विघ्नविनाशिनी जगदोद्धारिणी विघ्नविनाशिनी जगदोद्धारिणी विघ्नविनाशिनी चिरसुखदायिनी साई जननी चिरसुखदायिनी साई जननी चिरसुखदायिनी साई जननी चिरसुखदायिनी साई जननी राजराजेश्वरी जगन्मोहिनी राजराजेश्वरी जगन्मोहिनी जगदम्बे मङ्गलकारिणी जगदम्बे मङ्गलकारिणी साई राजराजेश्वरी जगन्मोहिनी साई राजराजेश्वरी जगन्मोहिनी जगदोद्धारिणी विघ्नविनाशिनी जगदोद्धारिणी विघ्नविनाशिनी चिरसुखदायिनी साई जननी चिरसुखदायिनी साई जननी चिरसुखदायिनी साई जननी चिरसुखदायिनी साई जननी राजराजेश्वरी जगन्मोहिनी